begin to.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So in this video I'm going to show you guys how to make this two-piece. So as you can see, I've drafted it on my pattern paper. So the lines I have here, this is my starting line. So it depends on you. You can start yours at 5, you can start yours at 6. So I started mine at 6, and then after that I have my armhole line, which is basically your bust divided by 6 plus 1.5. The line where it's going to be, it's where you're going to mark it as your armhole line. And then after that, the next line I have here is my bust point, which is my nipple line, my shoulder to my nipple at 12, and then my shoulder to my under bust at 15, my shoulder to my waist at 17.5. So that's what I have. After that, I went ahead and marked about my nipple to nipple divided by 2 plus half an inch, marked it here, marked it down here. So now I'm going to connect it in a straight line all the way to the top here. And then once that is done, the next thing I'm going to do is to go ahead and mark 1 inch on this side and then 1 inch on this other side. Bring it up here, 1 inch on this side and then 1 inch on this other side. Just like that. I'm going to connect the two together and then mark it here too. So if you are more on the smaller side, you can do 0.75 on this side, 0.75 on this side, or you can also do 1 inch here, 1 inch here. So I'm going to go ahead and mark mine now. And then once that is done, I'm going to go ahead and connect from this point here to this point here. So I'm going to connect from here, this line, all the way to this point. I'm also going to connect it on this other side too. I'm also going to connect it from here all the way to this point. And then I'm also going to connect from here to this point. A smaller person can divide 1.5 between the two sides. You can do 0.75 here, 0.75 here. So I'm going to go ahead and mark, or you can do 1 inch here, 1 inch here. So I'm going to go ahead and just mark mine. And then once that is done, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to connect these two lines together here, just like this, and then just like this. Once that is done, I'm going to connect both of them to the nipple, to this line here. And then at the top here, I'm also going to connect it all the way to this point here. So once it's done, I'm going to go to my bust line and I'm going to divide my bust by 4, which is 10.5, and I'm going to mark it. The next thing I'm going to do is to come up here. What you can do on this upper part here is to measure from your one side of your chest to the other, like your armpit to your armpit across on top of your bust, and find the perfect fit for you. Or you can even just use your shoulder measurement divided by 2 and then maybe take away 2 inches from that. So my shoulder would have been 8 minus 2 will be 6, right? So I'm going to mark that here, but I have to still replace this measurement that I have here, whatever it is. So you put your tape, whatever you have here, insert it back. And then after that, I'm going to connect from this point here to my armhole, right? Because why I replaced it is because this part will still be cut out. So I had to put it back to have my measurement, right? And then I've marked what I have here. So now that is done, all I have to do is just to go ahead and insert all my seam allowances. So like I said, my bust divided by 4, I've marked it here. Whatever I have in between this line here, which is like half an inch, I'm going to add it back and add 1 inch of seam allowance. I'm going to come down on this line here now and add my waist divided by 4, which is here, and then insert back what I have here, which is 2 inches, and then add back my 1 inch of seam allowance, right? So now that is done, the next thing I'm going to do is to just go ahead and connect from here all the way to this point here. And then now the next thing I'm going to do is this lower part here. I have to add my basic, right? I'm going to do maybe 6 inches below my waistline. I don't think 6 inches would be okay. Let me do 7, right? It depends on you. I'm going to do 7 inches. So I'm going to just mark it across this way, right? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and then I'm going to just mark up at least, like, because remember this is going to be on the two sides, so I'm going to do at least 3 inches or 2.5 here. If I do 3 inches when it's open, it's going to be 6 inches. If I do 2.5 when it's open, it's going to be 5 inches, because this part here you're going to imagine it to be on a fold, right? So let's say I decide to do 2.5 then. So now all I have to do, but on this line still, I still have to put, it's just going to bring down all this measurement from here, this dart in here, and then I'm also going to bring down this other one too, just like this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect from here, but to this point here, this line here, my 2.5 inches distance here. So to do that, what you can do is just to take your tape like this, and then you're going to just connect it. So this is going to be my basic here. So this is it. This line here is what I'm working with. So I'm going to go ahead now and cut from this point here out all the way down, and then cut from here all the way out. So guys, but before you even cut it, before you roll this line, guys, also try to fold your fabric away. Fold away this 1 inch here, like fold it out, so that way you can be able to mark this line. Because if you see now, this line is no longer on the same path. This one coming here is high, this one coming here is low. So to correct that, I had to fold it like I'm already sewing it, and then I'm going to put back my tape again and connect it again. So from this point here, this is where I want it to stop. So let me mark it over again. So this is now going to be my actual line, this one here, no longer this one. So let me go ahead now and cut it out. So guys, this is it here right now. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut the back panel. So guys, all I have to do, you see from the part I cut it, if you want you can just cut yours as one continuous line. I'm going to just go ahead and mark 1 inch of zipper allowance here. So I still maintain the same line. This is my armhole line. This is my, so this is still at that 6 inches armhole line, the nipple line, the under bust line, and then this is the waistline. The same line still continues. So if you want, you can just draft yours all the way like that. And then you see I have a zipper allowance here, right? So now the next thing I'm going to do is from this point here, after this line of my zipper, now the next thing I'm going to just do is to start to insert my measurements here. So on this my upper part here, I'm going to go ahead and mark the same measurement I used in front, which is 6 inches. Go ahead, mark it here, and then I'm going to come down on this my armhole line, and I'm going to insert my bust measurement divided by 4, like I said, which is 10.5. My bust is 42. Go ahead and add 1 inch of seam allowance there, and then from there I'm going to connect it from here all the way to this point here, just like that, my armhole. And then the next thing I'm going to do is just to come down to the waist and do my waist measurement divided by 4. So my waist divided by 4 is going to be 9, and then I'm going to add 2 inches to it, 1 inch of that and 1 inch of seam allowance. So that is what I've just added now, and then I'm going to connect from the bust here all the way to this point. And then the next thing I'm going to do is my nipple to nipple divided by 2 plus half an inch. Mark it here, and also go ahead and mark it on my armhole line, because my dart is going to be going all the way to that top part. And then I'm going to just connect it here, mark half an inch on this side, because remember I only have 1 inch dart here, not like 2 inches, because there's no bust at the back, so I'm just using a basic dart there. So connect it this way. I'm not going to be cutting it open, I'm going to use just a basic dart like that. And then from there, this is what I'm working with. The way it is now, I'm going to just go ahead and, so guys, the next thing I'm going to do now is to come down here by 2 inches for the back neck, because I don't want it high. So I just want it to have a little bit of curve. So I'm going to come down here by 2 inches, mark it, and then I'm going to connect it to the tip of this line here, just like that, and connect it this way. And then after that, the next thing I'm going to do is to come down again like the basic that we have in front. Remember, if you look at this top, because I was looking at it to know if it also has the basic at the back. It does have the basic at the back. So I'm going to bring it down the same length that we used before. I'm going to bring it down again, just like this. That same line, you see where we marked the initial one in front. So I'm going to use also the same length here for the back. So now I'm going to also go ahead now, this same dart, just like how we did before, but this time around I'm going to just put it down this way and then angle it this way, because this is a basic dart. And then after that, I'm just going to connect from this point here. So let me also extend the line of my armhole. So guys, once we finish this darting part, every other thing is done. So all I have to do is just to connect from here and then connect it. It depends on you. Like I said, you can do 3 inches or 2.5, whatever you used in front, use it at the back too. So like I said, I used 2.5 in front. So I'm going to also bring that same 2.5 here, and then I'm going to connect it all the way from this point here, just like that, to this point. Just like this, you see. This is basically what I'm working with here. You see, I didn't fold this one here because this dart at the back, it doesn't need any folding because it's not much that is going to be cut out. So this is okay for me like this. So I'm going to go ahead now and cut from this point here out all the way like this. I'm not going to be splitting it open inside. No, I'm just going to leave it the way it is. Nothing is going to be changed. So guys, this is all we need. I'm just going to go ahead and trace this on my pattern. So I'm going to trace this here, 2 pieces of this here, and then this one here, I'm going to put it like it's going to be on a fold, right? But I'm going to have like half an inch of seam allowance in between here, half an inch of seam allowance in between here. So let me go ahead and trace it and bring it back. As you see, I added seam allowance just here because I already added by the side when I was cutting it, right? I also added by the center here. So these 2 parts will meet each other here. And then this one here, the only part I didn't add any seam allowance because everything is complete. I just added a little bit more fabric to the side. But other than that, if you feel like what you have here is okay, that's perfect. So that's all I have here. So I'm going to go ahead and trace it on a lining. So this is what I have. So 2 pieces for the side here, 2 pieces of this going to the side of the cloth, and then 1 center piece here. So these 2 pieces for the side, and then 1 center piece, which is this one here. But I'm going to be tracing it out on a lining. So I'm going to trace out this piece, this piece, this piece on a lining, and then I'm going to join this one here. I'm going to take it to the sewing machine like this, join it to this side here. Take this other one here, join it to this side here, do the same thing on my lining, and then join the 2 of them at the top and then at the bottom. You understand? So I'm going to take my lining, place it after I've joined the 3 pieces of my lining together, like I've joined the 3 pieces of my cloth. I'm going to sew the end of the lining together with the end of this one, sew the upper part of the lining together with this one, and then bring it back for you guys to see. The same thing for the back panel. I'm going to sew the join, cut lining for it, sew the end here, sew the upper part here, and bring it back. So guys, you see what I have here. So like I said, once you join each one, you're going to join the top and the bottom. Turn it around, join the top and the bottom. That's what I did for this one. You see the piece of lining, I did it also for this one, just the top part and the bottom part. That's all I did. But this other side here, I left it open. You see, I left it open here, I left it open here. The armhole is still open, just like that. So what I'm going to do now is for this center part, I cut my akara. You know how akara comes by 45, right? That's how I just cut out 1 piece like that, that end, just like this. You see, I'll be 45 or 46. So what I'm going to do, you see, I also folded the end here, folded the edge here, folded the edge here. So this piece here is going to serve as my guys, if you want, you can turn yours with lining, but I'm not going to be turning mine with lining. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to gather it in between from here all the way to this end. How you're going to do it is you can go ahead and measure what you have from this point to this point, and make sure that you have at least the width of your fabric will be at least ×2 or ×2.5 of whatever you got from that point, right? And then you're going to just place it here and like gather it like this, you see. And then the next thing is that you're going to measure from this point to this point and make sure that your waist measurement and everything is accurate, your bust measurement, before you start to put in this gather, because once you put in your gather, you can't go back anymore. So this is how I'm going to gather it. That's why you have to close up this end, because I'm going to start from this point here of the end of this cloth, and then I'm going to gather it until I get to this other point here. So this folded part of this will meet this line part of this, just like that. Every other thing in between is gathered and it's going to fall over like this. right? I'm going to do the same on the other side too. So guys, this is it here. You see, I've put in my girder here on this side, this one here on this other side, like this. So now all I have to do is just to go ahead and insert my sleeve. So how I'm going to add my sleeve to this is just to take the fabric for my sleeve like this, and then I'm going to go ahead and so let me tell you guys the measurement I have here. So for this here, it depends on you the length you want to use. So for me, I'm going to be using a total of I think 16, because I need to fold in 1 inch here on this end here, or 1.5 here, 1.5 here, so that I can use it to make casing for the elastic, right? And then the width I have here is about 15.5 as the width. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my top now, and then I'm going to take the armhole like this, fold the part I'm going to use for my casing, and then take this cloth here, put it by the armhole. So make sure that you folded the 1.5, and then you're going to take this here, push it all the way to the end so that you can use it to draw out what your armhole would look like. So for me, it would look something like this, right? So let me mark it now. So just like this, all the way. So now let me go ahead and cut it out. So this is how I'm going to be folding it. So first I'll fold 1/2 inch, and then I'll fold it over, pass elastic through it. So let me go ahead and fold it back this way and cut this out. So if you want, you can leave this end here. If you want, you can narrow it a little. So I'm just going to go ahead and just narrow it a little, just to give it some shape. Just this. I'm going to cut up this little bit out, and then I'm going to go ahead, make a casing here, make a casing here, and then pass my elastic through each of them so that I can insert it. So guys, you see, I've joined the elastic on this side, joined the elastic on this side, and then the one here too. So you see, everything is done. I went ahead and put in my zipper for the back. So I just have to go ahead now and iron everything out, and then the top will be done. So let's go ahead and also do the skirt. So for the skirt, I'm going to just use my basic pencil skirt measurement. So fabric folded into two, both of them. The one in front is just my hip divided by 4 plus 1. The one at the back has extra 1.5 for the zipper allowance. Come up to the waist, mark my waist divided by 4 plus 2 inches, 1 inch of that seam, 1 inch of seam allowance. And then from there, I'm going to mark my waist to my hip, which is at 10 inches. Insert my hip measurement divided by 4 plus 1, which is exactly the width of my clothes. Come down here, remove 1 inch from the measurement I had initially. So now it's 12. So I'm going to connect it from this point here to this point, and then from the waist all the way to the here. And that's basically it for the skirt. I'm going to come in here by my nipple to nipple divided by 2 plus 1/2 inch. Mark 1/2 inch of it on this side, 1/2 inch on it on this side. This is going to be my dart. My dart is going to stop 1 inch, 2 inches before my hip, which is here at 8 inches. 1/2 inch on this side, 1/2 inch on this side, and the dart will be transferred on the 4 layers of the skirt. So I'm going to go ahead and cut off this side now. So guys, this is it here. All I have to do is to split open the center back, and then I'm going to cut band that is the same size as my waist, plus seam allowance for this here. Add it to the, after picking my darts, I'm going to insert my band and my skirt will be ready. So just close up the side. You see the front pattern here, and then I have 2 pieces for the back pattern. Pick all my 4 darts, the 2 sides of the front, the 2 sides of the back, close up the side, close up the side, put in my band. Guys, like I said, the emphasis here is mostly for the on the top, so it's not really about the skirt, because we have many pencil skirts here. So let me go ahead and just couple the skirt together, and then I'll show you guys what everything looks like. So guys, everything is done. You see my skirt is ready also. This is the back, it has the zipper here, and that's basically it. So this is the top too. You see where it stops at the back here, just like this here, you see. So that's basically it. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Guys, please like, share and subscribe. Bye.